All right. Good evening, everyone, man. My name is DeMarcus Taylor. I'm coming live to you here from Mobile, Alabama. I'm absolutely excited tonight to share this awesome opportunity with you guys. As you know, this is the fourth Tuesday of every month. We come to you at 7 o'clock p.m. Just to do our segment called Street Talk. The goal of this is to share testimonies and stories from different guys that have lived this life. But ultimately, our goal is to draw those out of that life so that they can live a more prosperous life and to show them a better way. Tonight, man, I am honored to have this guy on tonight, man. He's impacted my life in more than one way. Um, he's a very renowned business professional. Went from the streets to a millionaire, probably multi-millionaire. He's had experience in the mortgage industry. One of the top leaders in the network marketing industry, one of the top earners in the industry. The guy is just absolutely phenomenal. And I also have my guest, as always, my partner in crime, Christopher Cash Washington, and I just appreciate him from jumping on tonight. So we're gonna jazz it up for you guys tonight. But without further ado, I present to you guys one of my business mentors. Like I said, a brother, man, Mr. Cedrick Harris. Are you there?
I'm here, DeMarcus. Can you hear me and see me okay, brother?
Yes, sir. We can see you, man. And we're gonna pin you up. We're gonna pin you up here. There we go. All right. So, said, man, again, man, I really thank you for coming on this call tonight, man, and just being willing to share your story with us, man. So, first off, man, just introduce yourself to the people, man, and just give them a little bit rundown about yourself. I don't know if I did a good enough job, so I'm gonna let you take it from there with that. Then we'll jump into your story.
Oh, you did great, bro. You did great. Well, first of all, I'm happy and humbled to be here with sharing with each and every one of you. We know you could have been anywhere in the world and you chose to hang out with us here for the next 20, 30 minutes or so. I truly appreciate that. A little bit about myself. Again, my name is Cedrick Harris. I currently reside here in Tampa, Florida. I'm originally from Richmond, Virginia, where I grew up at all my life. I'm a down south kid. I actually moved out here to the Florida market back in 2003 it was, when I actually came out here. So I've been out here for about 18 years now, but pretty much grew up all my life in VA, you know. Went through a lot of struggle in my life in the Virginia area, you know, Richmond, VA. Seen a lot of things growing up, you know, was involved in a lot of street life growing up and, you know, had the opportunity to be able to change my life as I got a little bit older and started seeing things from a different set of glasses, DeMarcus. And that's a lot of the stuff that we're going to talk about here tonight, that's for sure. You can't hear you, bro. Can't hear you. Can't hear you. Can't hear
Okay,
you.
can't hear me now. All right, here we go. All right. Yeah. Also, man, thank you for sharing a little bit about you, about yourself, man. So we're gonna jump into. I know a little bit about your story. I haven't even gotten all the full details in the scoop of what happened, man. So initially, man, I mean, what drew you to the street life? What was it about it that the appeal of it, or what was it that just made you say, you know what, I think I want to step out there and try that?
I mean, where I grew up at. I mean, I grew up in the streets. I grew up in the hood. That was my surroundings. You know, ironically, what really threw me into the game, you know, 100%, you know, all my boys were around me getting money. You know, all of them were getting money. And I'm 14, 15, 16 years old watching this, right? And at the time, you know, I'm in high school and I'm actually selling candy. So I was the actual high school candy man. You know, I was the cat that was going around selling the now laters and, you know, the Snicker bars and the Baby Ruths and the Boston baked beans and all that good stuff. That's how I actually made my money. You know, and one day I was at home and it was right after school and I'll never forget it. You know, it was a life-changing moment in my life. And I was counting $116 in ones at the kitchen table and my mom came home from work and she looked and she said, "How much money is that?" And I said, "It's $116. And she said, "You made that from selling candy?" And I was like, "Yeah." Well, where we grew up at, you know, it wasn't, your mom don't see you counting $116 on the table and actually thought that you was selling some candy. So she was like, really, you did that selling candy? And I'm like, yeah. She saw the candy bag, all that good stuff. So my mom said, cool, congratulations. And I said, congratulations on what? She was like, you on your own. Congratulations, you're on your own. If you can make $116 a day selling candy, I make about $500 a week at my job. So you make more money than me. So you pay for your own clothes. You pay for all the stuff that you want. You can still live here. I'm still gonna feed you, but I'm not paying for no more of your clothes anymore. You on your own, figure it out. And I was like, man, that was like my intro to entrepreneurship. In hindsight, it was the best thing that my mom could have did. But shortly after that happened, I would say maybe a couple of months after that happened, DeMarcus, my candy bag got repossessed. So my candy bag got repossessed by the assistant principal. And he told me, he said, if I catch you selling candy again, I must expel you from school. Well, I mean, I couldn't afford to get expelled. That wouldn't be a good explanation to have to Mom Dukes, you know, but that was all my money. He actually took my bag. Like, he took the bag. You know what I'm saying? That was all my money. And all I had was $26 to my name. So where I grew up at, it's like, hey, my mom just told me you was on your own. My bag got repossessed. I can't sell candy no more. This is how I'm actually making my money. I got $26. What am I gonna do? Well, it's time to flip that. You know what I mean? So I took that $26 and I bought we talking to a youth that understand this game, right? We talk about, so, you know, I bought actually a half a quarter of weed, which is crazy. Like when you think about, it's crazy when you think about today. But I bought a half a quarter of weed for $25, and I flipped that a couple of times, and I ended up buying a quarter, and I flipped that a couple of times, and I end up, you know, upgrading, and I started to realize, DeMarcus, that it wasn't a future in that particular market because I was smoking the profit. You know what I mean? So it really wasn't a future in that. You know, all my friends came around me, you know, after school and all that good stuff. You know, we would smoke up all the profits. So it really wasn't a good business venture. You know, so we took that and we graduated to, you know, something that we shouldn't have graduated to, you know, which was the white stuff, you know, and that changed my life dramatically because that put me in a whole different circle. You know, it taught me a lot about the street life. You know, and it also put me in a situation, you know, where I was actually 18 years old. Well, actually, before I was 18, when I was 16, I got caught with an ounce of cocaine when I was 16 years old. And because my dad had a couple of connections, you know, I ended up staying in the boys' home for about a month. And then I went to a rehab center, and I happened to be the only drug dealer that was in a rehab center. Imagine that. I was in a rehab center for a month, and they let me out, and I was 16. You know, juvenile. You know, thought everything was all good, and you know, ended up doing it again. And you know, caught a case when I was an adult, and that's when it got real. You know, it got real. 18 years old, I was facing possession of cocaine with intent to distribute, and possession of a firearm while in possession of cocaine. So 18 years old, 3 felonies, facing 10 years. I'm literally 5 months graduated from high school. You know, I got a $40,000 a year job selling clothes, but I was greedy. That just wasn't enough, right? Because my life was still in the streets. From 9 to 5, I had my job. From 5 to 1, I was in the streets. You know, so I caught this case. And once I caught this case, everything changed, bro. You know, everything truly changed. You know, I went through this whole process of, you know, having to go through the court system, and, you know, 7 months later, I ended up facing the charges, you know, and I was lucky enough to spend a couple of months in jail, but I ended up going to a boot camp program, 90-day boot camp program, where they put 10 years over my head. If I quit the program or get put out the program, I got to go do the 10 years. So 42 of us went into the program. June 14th, 1994. I never forget it. No, June 23rd, 1994. 42 of us went into the boot camp program. 3 months later, 12 of us came home. Everybody else went to the penitentiary. It was the toughest thing I ever did in my life, still to this day, and I'm 46 years old. It was the toughest thing I did in my life, you know, but we was facing 10 years. So it was either do these 10 years, either do these 90 days or go do 10 years. You know, so when you're facing 90 days of torture, I'm not gonna really call it torture. I'm just gonna call it things that you ain't wanna do. You know what I mean? 90 days of that versus 10 years of just riding. I'm like, all right, I'll go do these 90 days standing on my head. You know, so we did the 90 days, came home with the 3 felonies. Nobody wanted to give me a job. Didn't understand that I was a really good salesperson, as you figured out, you know, years ago. It's like, hey, I'm a good sales guy. And then it was something that my probation officer told me that changed everything. And she said, when you're filling out the applications for the job, stop checking off you've been convicted of a felony. She said, stop checking off the box. And I said, well, what do you mean stop checking off the box? She said, if you leave the box blank, you're not lying. You just didn't check off the box. So once you get interviewed, if they ask you, hey, you didn't check this box off, have you been convicted of a felony? At that point, you can explain instead of being stereotyped because the box is already checked. And I said, okay, cool. So I started doing that. I answered this ad in the Richmond Times-Dispatch and said, this will be the last job you'll ever take in your life. And I said, you're right. I thought it was some job for selling vacuum cleaners or something. I ended up taking a job as a loan officer for a company called Mortgage Investors Corporation. I knew nothing about mortgages. I knew nothing. I did not own a home. All they did was they gave us leads to go run. They paid for our gas. It was a 100% commission job. You didn't sell, you didn't eat. The average commission was from $500 to $1,000, and I had nothing to lose. They didn't ask me about the felony. I started taking those leads and I started eating them up like a fat kid at Golden Corral on Sunday. And I became the #2 loan officer in the whole country out of a little over 1,000 loan officers. The owner thought it was a fluke. They sent me to California, I did it in Cali. They sent me to Philly, I did it in Philly. They called me up, made me the manager of our Detroit, Michigan office. 2001, I made $65,000. That was the most money I'd ever made in a year. I'm 9 years out the pen. I'm 9 years out of jail. 2002, I made $350,000 as a manager. I'm 26 years old. I'm like, you can't tell me nothing. You know, you're making $300,000+ a year. I'm 26 years old. Like, you can't tell me nothing. Then I got the opportunity to run our largest office in the company, ran that office, and in 2003, I made $2.1 million, and I thought the sky was gonna part. I was 27 years old. I legit thought the sky was gonna part because 10 years prior to that, I was locked up. 10 years prior to that, I couldn't get a job. 10 years prior to that, I was on that bus on my way to Southampton County with 42 of us and only 12 of us came home. You know, 10 or 11 years prior to that, I'm expelled from all Richmond public schools. I can't go to no Richmond public schools whatsoever for selling drugs at school. You know what I mean? I go through all this, and then at 27 years old, changed everything. Like, legit changed everything. And man, that was one of those shifting moments, bro, that, you know, I look back at now and I'm like, I'm humbled to even talk about it. Just because of the struggle and the process that it really took. From that point, you know, they moved me to Florida to be the president of the company, you know, and I became the president of the company called Mortgage Investors Corporation. I had 1,100 loan officers, 28 different offices. I managed about $3 billion in mortgages. And, you know, in that time frame, man, from 01 to 06, you know, the company paid me a little over $5 million. And, you know, I'm forever grateful, you know, and that was, you know, we 2021 right now. So we talking, I was 15, 16 years ago. No, is that right? 21, what is this? 21, 11. Yeah, man, that's, wow, it's longer than that. It's like over 20+ years now. It's like almost 12, wow, it's crazy. It's like 23, 24 years now, which is not. You know, so that's part of the story. Let me shut up here real quick and let you jump in, because I'll just be rambling and rambling. I know we want to play, you know, ping pong over here.
Oh man, you rocking and rolling, man. I'm mind blown right now. So after the mortgage, getting into the mortgage game and all of that stuff, what? Because I always tell people that's in the streets, especially guys that hustle like that. You know, I'm like, man, you ain't nothing but a businessman. You just doing it the wrong way. You just, and I really do believe that network marketing is probably the best industry for guys that you know are in that lifestyle. So, what was the shift from the mortgage into the network marketing industry for you?
So for me, I mean, I got a dabble of the network marketing industry about 25, 26 years ago, right before I got into the mortgage game. And it was with a company called Excel Communications. I only played with it for about a year and a half, but I actually liked the industry because it didn't care where you were from. It didn't care about your background. It didn't ask you if you were convicted of a felony or not. It's all it took was heart. If you had heart and you were willing to learn something, it didn't matter if you were from jail or from Yale. So I took advantage of the opportunity. That company ended up selling, and we started doing other things. But when I left the mortgage industry in 2006, I literally took about 6 months off. I did a lot of fishing. Fishing is my favorite sport. So I literally went fishing every single day, and all I did was trade stocks. So I legit was 30 years old, fishing every single day, trading stocks, and I was bored. You know, I was bored. I was legit bored, but I was also psychologically unemployable. Like, I had worked for somebody that was worth, today, he's right now worth over $900 million. He was my mentor for so long. I was with him every single day for 2.5 years straight, 5 days a week when he moved me to Florida. So when you're around someone that's worth hundreds of millions of dollars, you learn a lot of stuff. And I'm like, you know what? Like, I did very well in the mortgage game. I'm not going back to work for anybody else. Like, I'm not. I live in Tampa. The office that I ran was in St. Petersburg, Florida. My old boss is like the most connected person in St. Petersburg, Florida. I was like Michael Jackson in St. Petersburg, Florida, and Tampa, Florida. I'm Tito Jackson. That's the difference. You know, you Michael Jackson across the bridge, but you Tito Jackson over here. So over there, it was a whole different game. It was a whole different game. You know, so he taught me a lot of stuff, and I realized, I said, you know what, I'm just not going back to work. So I knew that the only way I was going to do it again is by getting the network marketing and cranking that back up all over again. And there's a lesson in that story here real quick that I want to lay out for the youth here real quick. You know, there's a certain thermostat that you get to. When you get to a certain financial thermostat, once that financial thermostat goes off in your head and you get adjusted to that financial thermostat, it is hard to go backwards. It's a brain, once expanded, can never go back to its original state. So once my brain was expanded to this certain lifestyle that I acquired while I was in the mortgage game, I'm like, you know what? I can do that again. I'm just going to have to do it again in a different niche. And I'm going to do it my way without a boss at the same time. So that's actually where you and I met. That was with Lightyear Alliance. That was the first company I came back and I joined when I decided to join the industry back over again. Went to the top of the comp plan in a matter of months, you know, led some leaders all over the country. And, you know, we did it multiple times. I mean, we did it in Lightyear Alliance. We did it in Visalis Sciences. We did it in Numis Network. We did it in Jeunesse Global. We did it in My Lead System Pro. Like, we've done it in numerous different opportunities. And currently, still to this day, I override about 45,000 distributors in 4 different companies in about 30 different countries right now, you know, in numerous different projects. You know, whether it's crypto, whether it's health and wellness, whether it's skincare, whether it's travel, whether it's Forex. You know, we've got people in different niches that we override, because what I realized about the network marketing game is that it's just like the dope game. It's just like the street game. Like, once I realized what it was, that's when I really started getting money. Once I realized what it was. So what is it? How is network marketing just like the street game? Well, if somebody's in the street, they got to go and get a pack. So you got to start there. So in network marketing, you're starting off with what? You're starting off with a pack. So you're starting off with a pack, typically is with some products, or it might be with some services. Okay, but you're starting off with that. So first similarity, okay, for number one. For number two, the goal is to buy it wholesale and to sell it what? Retail. So you as a distributor in a network marketing company, you buying the product wholesale and you selling it retail. So in the street, you're doing the same exact thing. You buying a product wholesale and you selling it retail. Second similarity. Third similarity. When you work your way up in the game, you're not the one that's out there in the streets. You got other people that's out there in the streets and you get a percentage of what they're doing. So inside of network marketing, you can be the person that sells the product. So now you're retailing, you're hand to hand, you in the streets. You know what I mean? You hand to hand. If you go out and build the business and you say, okay, I've got this person selling a little bit of product and this person selling a little bit of product and this person selling a little bit of product, and it's all legal because everybody invested in a business. And you now have countries that you're dealing with. Now you have social media that you're dealing with. Now you've got Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, WhatsApp, Skype, I don't know, Messenger. I mean, it's 10 million different ways to communicate with people all over the world right now. So you've got this going for you inside of the network marketing world. And the beauty of it is that no matter who you are, no matter where you're from, no matter what your background is, network marketing doesn't care. They legit do not care. It's the bottom line is, instead of the company spending millions of dollars on an athlete or a movie star, paying them to endorse their products, they taking that same advertising budget and they giving it to people just like you and I. And it's a better model for them because they don't pay out any money until they acquire a customer. In a typical marketing campaign, that athlete already got paid. Look, Shaq got his money regardless of whether or not you bought one stick of Old Spice. He still got paid. He still got his bread, no matter what. In network marketing, the network marketing company gets zero. Nothing happens until the customer is acquired. So they didn't spend $1. So it's the perfect model. And it's a model that's being used all over the world, and it's only getting bigger right now. Like, it's only getting bigger. It's only getting better because of technology. And companies see that the best way to move products and services around the world is through word of mouth. Period. That's the best way. And I'm gonna tell every kid that's on here right now, everybody that's listening right now, you've been doing network marketing all of your life. You just haven't been getting paid for it. You've been doing all of your life. You referred somebody to something. You went out and looked at a good movie and you told one of your boys about it and they went to go see it. That's network marketing. Paramount Pictures just ain't send you a check though. But you did network marketing. You got your brakes fixed at Bob's Brake Shop. That's your boy. He takes care of your brakes all the time. Your partner says, hey, who does your brakes? My brakes went out. Go holler at Charlie at Bob's. That's network marketing. You just referred your boy over to Charlie at Bob's Brake Shop. Charlie got the business. You didn't get paid though. So you did network marketing. So that's all we're doing, man. We're just building teams of people around the world, moving products and services, and thinking about it from the perspective of, I would rather have 1% of 100 people than to have 100% of myself.
Wow. Yeah.
That's the reality.
That's a good breakdown right there. That's a good breakdown. So, man, one of the things that I do admire about you the most is your leadership ability, man. And I just appreciate the fact that you never lost your realness with it. You still relatable, you still, straightforward and transparent with people. So how are you able to still bring that sense of, who you really are, even some of that street to the business environment, and then just still be the pronoun, leader that you are, where you're able to push and get, people, the most potential out of people, to help them succeed? How were you able to navigate yourself into becoming that?
You know what? Real talk, it ain't even really start until I got 100% transparent with people. Like that's when it really started. So check this. When I met you in Lightyear, I came from success to success. Okay? I went from being a loan officer to the manager, to the national manager, to the president of marketing for the entire company. I did all that in 5.5 years. Okay? That was success. I came inside of Lightyear Alliance where you were. Okay? Hit the top of the comp plan in a matter of months. That was success. Success to success. Okay? I was a good leader. I know how to recruit. I know how to sell. Okay, that's natural. On the same token though, the $1 million money didn't come into network marketing until I got transparent. And I'm gonna tell you what happened. I'm at an event with one of my coaches, and this is why mentorship is so important in people's lives. I'm at this event with one of my coaches. The event is called Breakthroughs to Success. This was 2009. I'm at this event, and I would call it a Narcotics Anonymous meeting for entrepreneurs. It's like all these networkers and entrepreneurs talking about their problems, where they come from and how to overcome it and this and that, and blah, blah, blah. So my coach said, hey, Sid, get in front of the room and tell everybody your story. So I get in front of the room and I'm like, yeah, my name is Cedrick. You know, I grew up in Richmond. You know, I was in the mortgage game. You know, I did really well in the mortgage game. Came over to network marketing, did this. He was like, no, Sid, tell him the story. I said, yeah, my name is Sid. You know, I was in the mortgage game, and I came from the mortgage game, and I came over here into network marketing. We built this and this company. Then we built this and this company. He was like, no, Sid, tell him the story. Tell him about the guns. Tell him about the dope. Tell him about going to jail. Tell him about the 3 felonies. I'm like, bro, chill. Like, why are you putting all my business on the street? Like, what you doing? Like, he put me on blast in front of the whole room. Now, when we from, like, we don't get down like that. Like, first of all, we don't dime out nobody for number one. And number two, like, why you putting all my info in front of everybody? Like, come on now, like, that's my personal info. He was like, go ahead, tell him. Well, he done already snitched on me now. He done dry snitched in front of me, in front of everybody now, so I might as well finish the story. So I went ahead and just finished the story now. Yeah, everybody, yeah, you know what I mean? I was 18 years old. I went to jail. You know, I ran through a stop sign, forgot all about that. I had a gun in the car. A couple ounces of coke was under the seat. I just read up, totally forgot that that extra clip was under the seat of my car. When I stopped the car, the clip slid to the back of the seat. Boom, they saw it on the floor. Probable cause to open up the door, search me, lock me up, catch the case, face of 10 years, paint the whole picture, blah, blah, blah. Tell everybody the whole gamut. A week later, 23 people out of like 40-something people in the room joined my network marketing company. And I wasn't even pitching the company. So I called my coach and I was like, hey, Jeff, I don't understand. Why are all these people joining me? I don't get it. He was like, Sid, nobody wants to hear from success to success. Nobody wants to hear about that. He's like, everybody loves a good comeback story. He was like, all you've been telling is you came from the mortgage business and you went into the network marketing arena and you did this. Like you made millions in the mortgage game, then you come into network marketing, you become a big leader. Whoop-de-doo. Who cares? Nobody wants to hear about that. People can relate to the struggle. He was like, why do you think Rocky was a good movie? Rocky was such a good movie because it was all about the struggle. It was all about the struggle. It was the comeback story. Once I realized being 100% transparent with everybody actually works. People love a good comeback story. People love to be able to look at somebody and say, if he can do it, I can do it. If she can do it, I can do it. Like people love to be able to say that. People love to be able to look at that story. So for me, man, I learned a long time ago. As soon as you forget where you come from, God will slap you in the back of the head and remind you real quick. So he just slapped me like twice. I'm not really interested in the third one. So I'm Gucci on that. So I'm just 100% transparent with people. I just tell people how it is. I sleep good at night knowing that I told people the truth, you know, and I don't walk around trying to be somebody that I'm not. You know, there's enough of that on Instagram. There's enough of that on Facebook. There's plenty of fake people out there. Like the world is full of fake people. Social media has allowed people to be fake all day, every day, and 16 times on Sunday. So instead of me joining the crowd of being this fake person or going to rent this car to act like I'm balling, or going and wearing an $800 belt when I only got $200 in my pocket, you know what I mean? Or going out here fronting for all these other people acting like I'm doing something big. Let me just be me, stay in my lane. If I be me and stay in my lane, the people that are supposed to be in my life, they're gonna be in my life. And that's what I want all of y'all to understand at the same time. It's like the energy that you put out is what you actually attracting. So you have to be careful. So if you put out the wrong energy and you go to attract the wrong type of people, that's gonna be your circle. Those are the people that's gonna be around you. So I'll be the first one to tell you, once I started making a lot of money, I had to change my circle. Things had to change. There's certain things I don't talk about, certain things I don't do. You know what I mean? I got infrared cameras going around my crib for a reason. When I show up in my city, I don't tell people for a reason. You know what I mean? I'm the cat that I show up in my city, and then when I'm back home, that's when I post the pictures. You feel me? Like, because the people that I needed to see, they knew I was there because I wanted some. But the way I grew up, things have changed. Things have changed. You know what I mean? So you gotta be conscious of who's around you, what's going on. Look, I lost my best friend 2 years ago. The only person, DeMarcus, that legit from elementary school that I grew up with, that I was locked up with, that I sold dope with, that I did all sorts of dirt with, that the only person that when I started making life-changing money in real life, that when I would go back to the city that I was still kicking with, that I still trusted. The only person that was still in the game that I still trusted, that I kept trying to tell him over and over and over, bro, you gotta get out. You gotta get out. You gotta get out. You gotta get out. We know what the outcome is. Like, he was in boot camp with me. He was facing 10 years at the same time. He was one of those people that got put out of boot camp. He ended up doing 7 years out of the 10 years that was on his head. You know what I mean? Did 2 bits in the pen. And I'm like, bro, you got to get out the game. We know, say it, I'm going to get out. Say it, I'm going to get out. Say it, I'm going to get out. And he didn't get out quick enough. You know what I mean? So when we understand what the outcome is and what we doing it for, we got to realize, yo, what are we doing it for? Who are we doing it for? We looking to shine for a bunch of people that we really don't like, just to say that we doing something, just to say that we got this whip, just to say that we got this chain, just to say that we got these new sneaks. Like, we doing that for a bunch of people that we don't like? Or we really looking at what life is really all about? Like, what are those things that really, really, really make you hum? That really, really, really make you happy? Because I'm gonna tell y'all right now, you think the car's gonna make you happy? They ain't. Some of y'all like, whatever. I don't care what you say, whatever. I'm just telling you, once you get it, you're gonna realize it gets you to the same destination as the other one. The only difference is how people look at you. That's the only difference. It's the only difference, how they look at you. And some respect. You know what I mean? That's it. That's it. Gets you to the same destination. Same thing with the crib, all that stuff. It's what is it that's gonna make you hum, that you can get up every single day and do, whether there was no money attached to it whatsoever. That's the question you gotta ask yourself when you wanna change your life. What can I do every single day that I could just get up every single day and be excited about it and can hum doing it if there was no money attached to it? That's the question that you ask yourself, and that's what you monetize. That's what you monetize. Every athlete that you are looking at right now, that's what they did. That's what they're monetizing. Your rappers, your hip hop guys, your singers, your actors, that's what they're monetizing. What can I do every single day that I could just do it all the time? And I'm gonna be happy, full of bliss, even if there is no money attached to it. When you find the answer to that question and you monetize that answer, ooh-wee, ooh-wee, the game changes. The game changes, and your surroundings change right along with it. So I know that was a little bit of a long-winded answer, my brother.
No, man, that was good, man. You had me locked in. That was good, man. I'm gonna let Cash jump in here, man, and chat with you. And you got any questions, Cash, that you might want to ask, man? Because I know I saw you watching. I was watching you on video. It seems like y'all two kind of got a lot of. He hit on some things that you kind of was able to relate to. So I was just gonna give you an opportunity to say something, man, or ask some questions or something like that, that you may have. You there? Can you hear me, Cash? Oh, there you go. You muted.
Okay. Yeah, I'm good. Yeah, I hear you now.
Okay.
But no, just listen to. I actually, and he'll relate, man. Like I actually went and checked him out on his page earlier today. Like I just glanced because I want to, you know what I'm saying. I want to see it. You know what I'm saying. I know what's what when I see it, and then just listening to him, like I just walked away from you. You know, I just walked away from a 9 to 5 and jumped into sales. I've never done legal sales in my life until now, and I've been excelling at something because, and I'm still learning the product. I probably don't know a quarter of the product yet, but I just know being good at sales and coming from what we come from, if I get it, I'm gonna move it. I just know I'm gonna be where I need to be to move it. I'm gonna know how to move it. And I was looking at some numbers today and excelling like I'm in the, and I'm not, because you know me, man. I just float with it, thanking God. But out of thousands, I'm in double digits out of thousands in a sense within the company. Like I'm in double digits. Like I'm not even in the hundreds. I'm in like double digits from doing something that I never had and I would imagine that I would be doing. And it all became just because I knew what I was good at. I just never saw myself legally doing it. So when Sid was doing everything, a lot of that was resonating with me because it's like I actually did, and I didn't realize the number of people that were on there, but I was the guest of a team meeting a couple of weeks ago within the company, and the managers ranged from Pennsylvania, and I'm finding out all the way down to Baltimore, and I'm laughing because I was able to plug them with people because I knew people, like the areas they were naming, and I knew those from there. Like I
Yeah.
knew those, and I've been able to, as he said, network market and put them in contact with people because it's about the company, but I'm just good at what I do. And I learned a long time ago, not only to be transparent, but build relationships. A lot of people do business, but then when you build relationships, you can always have communication with that person, no matter what you got going on, because there's a relationship there. The people that I built relationship with, I didn't communicate just to be calling, hey, how you doing? They know if Cash called, hey bro, what's up? You first thing, you good? And then it's automatic. It's like I can shift the bulk of whoever hand I'm putting in their hand because Cash, you ain't even, if you brought them, we good. So I was resonating and I'm looking because, to be honest, this has been inspiration for me because I walked away out of 9 to 5 4 or 5 months ago.
Mm-hmm.
Probably 4 or 5 months ago, I walked away from, and I come, we come from a small town. You go to work, get your job, don't get a business. You go work for somebody else's business. Every once in a while, somebody may do their own thing, but legally. But then here it is, I walk away and step out on faith, and I'm watching as the thing is shifting and the thing is turning around because it's like I went through preparation to get, this is where I was supposed to be at the whole time.
Yeah.
And now it makes sense just listening to Ced's story because he said something that was so powerful. When I did that meeting with the people from the company, there were several, probably 40 to 50 people on that Zoom call. I was transparent. I told them my story. I told them about my single parent upbringing. I told them about, not having much. I told them, a lot of people now, I got a room full of shoes because, and it's not that I'm showing off, but it was a time I only got shoes 3 times, maybe 4 times a year before my sister and brother left the house and got jobs, and then they would help mama get the things that I would get. But so now I got a lot of shoes because I know what it felt like to not be able to get shoes, but I take care of shoes because I had to take time was up, 4th of July, income tax time when you got shoes. So I want to say this to Ced, man, I'm excited at sitting here, bro. I'm saying this from one guy, and I know your area from Newport News
Bad
to
News VA.
Norfolk. Yeah, Bad News VA, Bad News VA, MacArthur Mall, all of that. Like Norfolk, like I know that area, you know what I'm saying? We ain't got to, was understood, don't need to be said. So,
That part.
you know, but it's like hearing your story now, man. And it's like, okay, I know this is for a bigger reason, this has been inspiration for me, because now it's like sometimes when you step away from that 9 to 5, it's like, did I really am I supposed to be working for a company, but if I don't want to go to work that day, I don't have to go to work that day. If I don't, you know what I'm saying? But then when I go in and do, I know I'm going to get back what I put in, because it's one of those, in a sense, 100% type situation. So this has been inspiration, because I know I'm in the right lane now. Who's supposed to be in this lane with me, as you said, they're gonna get in this lane. I know, forget just a story, and I'm gonna be quiet. I was in MacArthur Mall, Jay-Z, Steve Stout, Kevin Lyles, they were in MacArthur Mall, and I was doing the music thing at the time, and I was pretty decent with the music. But I had, as you said, I was trying to get back to PA with a pack. So my partner and them, they telling me, man, they go Jay-Z, go holler at Jay-Z. I'm talking about he had no security, no nothing. But I told him, bro, I'm not right now. I'm trying to get back with what I know gonna work for me. I can go and rap to him, but I don't know where that may go. But I know if I get back to where I'm going with what I got, this what my focus is right now. So saying that to say this, those times were not my time then. Now I know I'm in the right lane, and God is aligning, and the people are aligning the lane that I'm supposed to be in, and who's supposed to be in here. And what I'm learning through, and you spoke about this transition. I'm in the transition now where everybody can't travel in this lane with me. So I'm having to allow myself the separation from the people that can't travel with me in this lane. And I still love them, but we just going in different directions. And I'm only traveling with the folk that are heading in my direction and the way that I'm going, at the pace that I'm going. And then personal, but you're moving at a different pace and in a different direction. And I can't afford to slow down right now. So just hearing your story has been inspiration, bro, because, and I know this is for a bigger reason, because I was checking you out today. I was checking you out and, catching you, watching your Facebook, and man, I could see it then. And now basically kind of in a sense, meeting you face to face, this has been powerful, man. And I'm thankful, bro, because, and they need to hear this transparency, man, because one thing I've learned, no matter what state, no matter what city, the struggle is the struggle. Yeah. And coming out of the struggle is coming out of the struggle. We might have different parts of our story, but the basis of our story is the same. And now, even heading in the direction we're heading, we can go back and speak to those guys, and we can tell them from a place. And I know, just listening to you, a lot of times we ain't got to say a whole lot, because legendary things that happen and what we did to speak for themselves, to who they need to speak to. So, man, this has been inspiration for me, man. And I want to say to you, man, just keep inspiring, because it's even guys like me that are pretty groomed in leadership, but still I'll sit at a person's feet when I know that I can gain and attain something from them. So this has been powerful for me, bro. And I'm thankful that I pressed through to get here tonight, to get settled in for this, because, man, I needed this. I know we're speaking to the streets, but bro, and I'm gonna say this, big homie, I needed this.
That's what's up. But you know what you said, and I appreciate that, bro. And you said something that I wanna highlight for you and for everybody that's checking this out. And I was taking some notes, and I put a couple things in my phone so I wouldn't forget. And this is the first thing I want everybody to get, because Cash blew over this, and I don't even think he realized it. And I want to make it bigger. The number one highest paid occupation in the world is sales.
Wow.
Period. Let me repeat that again for those of y'all in the nosebleed seats. The number one highest paid profession in the entire world, plus Venus, plus Pluto, is sales. All sales is a transference of feeling. You're transferring how you feel about something into the other person. And if they can feel as close as you feel about it, then they will buy. That's all sales is, okay? If you got a girlfriend, you were selling. It was a transference of feeling. You married, it was selling. It was a transference of feeling. I'm transferring how I feel into this woman, and if she feels anything close to this, she gonna be my girl. So you a closer. Congratulations, whether you are a man or a woman, okay? But that's all sales is, okay? A transference of feeling. So when we look at sales being a transference of feeling, you gotta ask yourself, what can I sell? Like, what can I sell? What can I sell legally without going to jail? And think about all the things that you can sell. And then think about everything that you have was sold. Everything that you have was sold. This is what's crazy to me, right? I've been on commission all my life. I couldn't take it any other way. You don't sell, you don't eat.
Yeah.
You don't sell, you don't eat. You know what's wrong with society right now? Let me tell y'all what's wrong with society right now so y'all get it. Like, you done got me jazzed up now, bro. I'm getting ready to drop some bombs. Let me tell you what's wrong with society. Here's what's wrong with society. What's wrong with society is real simple. From the 1st grade to the 5th grade, you do something for 8 hours a day, 5 days a week, and you get a result. From the 1st grade to the 5th grade, I want y'all to watch this. From grade number 1 to grade number 5, you do something for 8 hours a day, 5 days a week, and you get a result. And the result is middle school. You go to middle school for 8 hours a day, 5 days a week for 3 years, and you get a result. And the result is high school. You go to high school 8 hours a day, 5 days a week for 4 years, and you get a result. And the result is you graduate into the real world or you go to college. Some people go to college for 4 more years. I didn't like the books that was free, so I won't pay for none. And I got put out of school too much to get a scholarship, so I was like, I'm Gucci with all that. And plus, dope boys was paying more money than professors in school anyway. So I'm like, I'm going to the streets. But I want y'all to think about this. 4 years. 4 years in college, 8 hours a day, 5 days a week to get a result. So for 12 to 16 years, you've been conditioned to do something 8 hours a day, 5 days a week to get a result. Do you get that? You've been conditioned for 12 to 16 years for 8 hours a day, for 5 days a week to get a result. That's why when you opened up the newspaper, the very first thing you see is a job that pays you by the hour. You have already been mentally conditioned to do something 8 hours a day for 5 days a week. So now 40 hours is considered what? A full-time job. Now, when you open up the newspaper, guess what the 2 biggest sections in the newspaper is right now? I don't care if it's your local newspaper. I don't care if it's monster.com. I don't care wherever it is that you see jobs at. The 2 biggest sections right now are sales and medical. I don't care where you live. Sales and medical. Why medical? Because people are going to always die. There's a couple of guarantees in life. Number 1, you're going to pay taxes. If you don't, you're going to jail. Number 2, you're going to die. Okay, you do not have some crazy Magic Johnson water that's gonna make you live until you're 732 years old. You will die. So there's always gonna be need of doctors and nurses, always medical. And they're trying to pay them even more to go work in COVID conditions. My youngest daughter is a traveling nurse. She still lives in Virginia. They were gonna pay her $62 per hour to just work for a couple of months in New York. And I'm like, you gotta be tripping. She was like, Dad, I ain't even thinking about that. Exactly, because what good is $62 an hour if you dead? Like, what's the purpose? That's why they willing to pay you $62 an hour, okay? So what's the second thing I said? What? Sales. Why is sales such a big place in the newspaper? Because people don't believe in themselves. People don't believe in themselves. They need to be told what to do. They need to know, I got to go to lunch at this time. I get X amount of vacation. I know that if I get paid $20 an hour times 40 hours a week, that's $800. I know for a fact I'm going to get $800 at the end of the week. I need that guarantee. In sales, there isn't a guarantee. You don't sell, you don't eat. It's just that simple. I love it. I can't do it no other way. I can't do it no other way because that same $800 that you working for 40 hours, you can make it 5 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Now you done. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
I'm done for the whole week. I'm Gucci. Oh, I can do this again. Oh, let me do this again. Oh, let me do this again. Oh, let me do this again. You know what I mean? So sales, that's number one. That's the first thing I got out of what Cash said. Second thing I want y'all to get, he said, look, relationships. Look, money only comes from one place, and that's people. Money don't come from nowhere else. Nowhere else. Money only comes from one place, and that's people. Don't ever forget it. And all money does is it goes from the hands of people that are not so smart into the hands of people that are smarter every single day. That's all money does every single day. It goes from the hands of people that are not so smart to the hands of people that are smarter every single day. That's all it does. Please don't challenge that notion. If you want to challenge that notion, when you hop off the Zoom and you go to the gas station, you tell me who's smarter, the person pumping the gas or the person receiving the money for you paying for the gas, when they don't even make any money on gas. Some of y'all got lost on that one. It's like, what is he talking about? When they don't even make no money on gas. It's 387 across the street and it's 386 on the other side of the street. How they making any money? They're not making money off of gas. They're making money off of convenience. The money is on the Pepsi, the Newports, the Black & Milds, the Budweiser, the Boston Baked Beans. It's when you come into the store, that's where the bread at. It's not outside in the gas. So when we start thinking about where money comes from, you got to look at the circulation of it. And you got to think, man, it's all relationships. All the money I've ever made in my life, it's been attached to somebody. It's been attached to somebody. Somebody introduced me to this person, or introduced me to that, or opened this door over here, or did this. It's somebody. So don't burn bridges because you don't know what door is going to open or who knows what. That same person that you could be picking on in high school right now could end up being the mayor of your city one day. You got to be careful who you bully these days. You don't know who might end up being 5-0 in your backyard. Like, you just don't know. Hold on one second. This guy, let me stop this here for a second. So relationships, so key, so key. The other thing is, I want y'all to think about this. Who are the top 5 people that you're spending the most time with? Like, once I figure this out, this changed everything. Who are the top 5 people that you're spending the most time with? Absorb that for a second. I don't care if it's friends that you hang out with in the streets, if it's people that you hang out with on the phone all the time, in a chat room, on Facebook, on Instagram, in your hood, whoever it is. I want you to sit still for a second and think, who are the top 5 people I spend the most time with? And I want you to understand that you are the sum. You are the sum of the top 5 people that you spend the most time with. This is going to be a hard decision for some of y'all, but I'm here to spit some facts to you. So if the top 5 people you spend the most time with smoke weed all day, guess what? You number 6. I'm just telling you, because that's what your top 5 friends do. How you gonna hang around with 5 people all day that smoke 5 blunts a day and you don't smoke none? You the oddball. So if your top 5 friends smoke weed all day, you number 6. If your top 5 friends sell dope, there's a good chance you number 6. How you gonna eliminate the temptation of $5 grand, $6 grand, $7 grand in a week when your top 5 friends, they doing it? They got the girls, they got the cars, they got the clothes, they got the jewelry. This is what you see all the time. There's a good chance that you're gonna be number 6. If your top 5 friends go to the gym 3 days a week, there's a good chance that you're number 6. If your top 5 friends eat honey buns at 6 o'clock in the morning, there's a good chance that you overweight and you number 6. If your top 5 friends read books before they go to bed, there's a good chance that you're number 6. Now, if your top 5 friends are entrepreneurs and have an entrepreneurial mindset, there's a good chance that you are number 6. Now, if you want to change what's going on in your world, you got to first change your environment. You got to first change your environment, and you got to change what's around you. And don't hit me with the, it's kind of hard for me to change what's around me said because of what's outside. It was outside of my crib too. Outside, want them but gunning, slanging, hooking, and everything else that you could think of. That was outside. That's what was outside. Okay, but there still was a choice. Like before you got to the school bus, you had to walk past the nonsense. Okay, so I get it. Said my daddy was a drunk, or my mama was this, my daddy was this. I grew up with my aunt. I grew up with this. Like we can come up with all these excuses on what's going on, or you can look in the mirror and accept responsibility for your own life and say, you know what? Like I legit want to be a millionaire. How do I be a millionaire? Do you realize that whatever question you ever ask yourself, it has to be answered? Some of y'all ain't ready for this. Whatever question that you ever ask yourself, it has to be answered. You know why you can't hear the question, you can't hear the answer sometimes? Because it's too noisy. It's too noisy. Look, I ain't gonna get religious with nobody on here, but I'm gonna tell you right now, God can't talk through noise. He can't talk through noise. So whatever you ask, if you say, how do I become a millionaire? I promise you, if you ask yourself that question over and over and over and over and over again, the answer is gonna come to you. It's gonna come. It's gonna come. How do I get out of this house and buy a bigger house? I don't ask yourself the question. It's gonna come. Every house that I've ever bought, I just manifested it. Like I legit manifested it. I told my daughter's mom when I was 20 years old, I said my first house will have a pond because I love to fish. She was like, yeah, whatever. I didn't know that it was gonna have a swimming pool on the inside of it either. I just knew about the pond. We weren't together at the time. Felt pretty good to be able to say that. Oh yeah, I got the house with the pond and the swimming pool and 5 acres. Yeah, we got that. Because I just zoned in and manifested it. Second house, same thing, manifested it. Third house, manifested it. What is it that you want? And how bad do you want it? Because you're gonna have to make a decision of what am I going to eliminate along the way. And some of y'all gonna make some decisions that's gonna hurt some feelings. But it has to happen. I had to cut off a ton of people throughout this journey. And some of y'all don't wanna hear this, but it's something that you're going to have to do when you say, I wanna legitimately change my life forever. In order to become comfortable, if you don't learn anything from this interview tonight, in order to become comfortable, you must first become uncomfortable. In order to become comfortable. In order to become comfortable, you must first become uncomfortable. That's number one. Number two, in life, always know your numbers. Everything in life is ruled by numbers. Don't ever forget that. Everything in life is ruled by numbers. If you look at the clock, what is that? It's a number. What is your age? It's a number. What is your date of birth? It's a number. How much money do you want to make? It's a number. Did you get a tax refund? It's a number. Did you have to write a check? It's a number. How many people are on here? It's a number. How many interviews have been done? It's a number. Everything is ran by numbers. What's your number? So if you say, hey, I want to make $1 million a year, well, guess what $1 million a year is? It's $2,800 a day. That's the number. So if you say I need to make $1 million a year, or I want to make $1 million a year, that means that that's $2,800 a day. So the next question you have to ask yourself is, am I doing $2,800 per day activities? Because if you say I want to make $1 million a year, but you're doing $100 a day activities, good luck with that. Let me know how that works out. Okay, let me know how that works out, because you're never going to get it, because you got to know the number. Number three, this world revolves around relationships. Keep the doors open. You are 6 degrees of separation from whoever you want to meet in life. You are 6 degrees of separation from whoever you want to meet in life. Number 4, learn something new at least once a month. I'm not going to tell you daily because your brain is going to turn into mush. Learn something new at least once a month. You learn something new at least once a month, you become extremely valuable. People always want to know, how do I make more money? If you learn a new skill set, you can charge for that skill set. When I first met DeMarcus, I could probably get, if I tried, $1,000 a month for coaching. If I tried. When I first met him, 2007, 8, whenever that was. Fast forward today, there's a waiting list. And I can't even hire me for $1,000 a month. I won't even do it. And that's not me being conceited. That's me understanding my time and the value of my time and what I'm delivering, okay? But it's from me learning new skill sets on a regular basis. So what new skill set can you learn that can be valuable to people that you can exchange money for? And last but not least, I'll say this. All of y'all are living in the most unique time of your life right now. Like you are living in the most unique time of our lives right now. You living in a world of how do I explain this, man? Like I'm getting goosebumps even thinking about it. You living in a world of everything happens here. You live in a world of currency you can't even touch. You live in a world of, when somebody first told me about Ethereum, it was $2. When somebody first told me about Bitcoin, it was $10. We live in a world where some of y'all look at gold chains and you think gold chains are valuable, and you don't really realize gold is the only real currency in the world, tangible. So while people are wearing it, you should be hoarding it. You want to hoard it. We live in a time where you can become a millionaire from a YouTube video. We live in a time where you can make a video and go viral and have people send you money through Cash App. We live in a time where you can be an influencer on Instagram with a certain amount of followers, and every time you put up a post, you can get paid for it. Ladies and gentlemen, do you realize what I'm saying here? You live in a time where there's no excuse on you being able to change anything that's going on in your world. It's up to you. And DeMarcus, I know I'm over my time, but my appointment hasn't responded yet, so that's why I kept going. I'm like, whatever. They're supposed to be here at 9. They ain't showed up yet, so I'm gonna keep on flowing until I hear something. So I just wanted to make sure that everybody here really understood the timing of life that they're in right now and the things that they can do right now to really, capitalize. So any other last minute questions, man, or if there's anybody from the audience or anything that you want to fire your way, just let's do it, bro. I'm here.
All right, we'll open it up, guys. Y'all see some of y'all on Facebook. If y'all have any questions, just chime in, or you can drop your question in the chat, or you can come on video and ask whatever question that you want to ask. Better get it in. You don't get an opportunity to sit one-on-one with a man like this every day. So, take advantage of the opportunity to ask whatever it is that you need to ask.
No question is a dumb question.
Well, I'll ask you one. How vital as far as your mentors, how many mentors do you still keep around for yourself? You know, even at this particular point in your life.
Me too.
Two.
I got two. I used to have a ton of quote unquote mentors, and I came to the realization that I can't be on everybody's email list. I can't listen to everybody because everybody doesn't have the same philosophies. Even though, you know, people are successful in their own right, but everybody still doesn't have the same philosophy. So I had to kind of trim down the people that I'm listening to based on where I want to go in life.
Okay. Okay.
Yep.
That's good. That's good. Anybody else? Cash, you got anything else, man? Okay. All right. Well, man, look like everybody good to go. Said, man, I appreciate you, man. Taking the time out to do this, man. Look like you really got in your zone, man. Like some purpose struck up in your bloodline there, boy.
Just a little bit, man. Look, I'm happy to be on here and sharing with the youth, man. You know, there was a time where I got schooled by someone when I was young and I didn't pay attention. And if I would have paid attention then, it would have changed a lot. I don't take any of those things back, just on the strength of I had to go through those changes in life. I had to go through those processes to get to where I'm at today. But I still feel like there's some people that are out there that don't have to go through that process. You ain't got to go through that struggle. You don't have to take your surroundings and instill them so deeply inside your soul that you don't know nothing else, that you can't get out of your situation, because everybody can figure out a way. There's always a way. Your mind is extremely powerful, you know, so, you know, follow your passion, follow the things that really, really make you excited, that give you some passion about life, you know, that warm you up, and figure out a way to monetize that. Remember that question I said to ask yourself. Figure out a way to monetize that, you know. Somebody just chimed in here really quickly.
Yeah.
Marcus.
Yeah, that's one of my mentees. He said, "How many hours do you sleep?" He said he's seen a video on YouTube where a man only slept for 4 hours, and that somehow correlated with his income.
That must have been that Puff Daddy video that you saw. Puff was like, he only sleep 4 hours a day. Me, I mean, look, I get in 6 to 7 a day. I don't really look at the amount of sleep. It's really the quality of sleep. However, It's Brenton.
Brenton.
Here's a mental trick, Brenton, that could change your life, brother. Here's a mental trick that could change your life forever. Okay. Most people waste time when they're sleeping, Brenton. This is gonna mess with some of y'all head right now. Most people waste time while they're sleeping. You know why? Because they're sleeping. I want you to think about this. Most people waste time while they're sleeping. You know why? Because they're sleeping. Now, some of y'all are like, that makes absolutely no sense. Let me explain to you what I mean. The body rests, the brain never sleeps.
That's right.
Remember that. The body rests, the brain never sleeps. How do you know the brain never sleeps? Because you have bad dreams. Have you ever had a bad dream before? You woke up in the middle of the night, you thought Freddy Krueger was killing you and it won't Friday the 13th? That's because your brain wasn't asleep. Okay, you ever woke up in the middle of the night and you had like crazy cold sweats? Because your brain wasn't asleep. You ever had a really good dream? You were sleeping that you were a billionaire and you woke up with this crazy smile and then you was like, man, God, I wish that was real. Okay, that's because your brain don't sleep. So if you want to cheat the game, find some mentors, find some people that you want to be like, grab their videos on YouTube, their podcast or whatever, grab your headsets on your iPhone or on your Android, stick them in your ears when you go to bed, and then rest. Stick them in your ears when you go to bed and then rest. Here's what's going to happen. What's happening is that what you're listening to is going into your subconscious mind. Your subconscious mind runs your life. You consciously think it's your conscious mind. It's your subconscious mind. Your subconscious mind runs your life. So while you're sleeping, your subconscious mind is hearing all this positive stuff. If you don't believe what I'm telling you right now, just try it for the next 21 days. I promise you it'll change your life. Try for the next 21 days. I want you to listen to somebody like Eric E.T. Thomas, for an example. Listen to Eric E.T. Thomas every night before you go to bed. When you go to bed, just stick your headset in and just go to sleep. Just go to sleep with him in your ear. Just go to sleep. I promise you within a matter of days, you're going to start to sound like Eric E.T. Thomas. In a matter of days, you're going to start to sound like Jim Rohn. In a matter of days, whoever you're constantly listening to while you're sleeping, you're going to start to sound like them. Just like when you listen to a song over and over and over again, and you might not even like the song, but because you heard it so many times, it's now embedded in you and you can spit out the words. So why spit out? If you want to be a rapper, okay, learn all the verses that you need to learn. But if you ain't trying to be a rapper, why not spit out some verses of some people that you want to be like? So if you say, hey, I want to be making $10 million a year, okay, find somebody who's in the niche that you want to be in that's making $10 million a year and put them on your phone and listen to them while you're sleeping and watch what happens. I learned this life hack years ago. Man, I learned this life hack, I think in 2010. Changed everything, man. Changed everything. Because it's legal cheating. It is legal cheating. Because most people, they just go straight to sleep because they just exhausted. Take that same time. I mean, why not cheat? You're going to sleep anyway. Just let that person just sing sweet nothings in your ear. You ain't got to believe me. Just try for 3 weeks. Try for 3 weeks and see what happens. So yeah, so thanks for chiming in, though, brother. But yeah, DeMarcus, listen, man, I'm happy to be here tonight, bro. Thanks for having me on. We definitely been trying to do this for a little while, so I'm glad that I was able to come in here and hopefully, man, there's 1 or 2 people or somebody that receives something, you know, from this. I hope you did. I hope there's this one nugget that you were able to pull from. And I always tell people, look, when you're listening to people getting interviewed or you're listening to podcasts or trainings or whatever, just look for one nugget. Don't try to absorb everything somebody said, because you're only going to absorb about 15 to 18% of it anyway. And that's if you're uber smart. So at the end of the day, just look for one bullet that you can hang your hat on, that one thing that you can hold on to, that you can apply immediately, and watch how things change. So thanks for having me on, bro. It's definitely a pleasure.
Hey, man, I appreciate you, man. Appreciate everybody joining in on us tonight. So we just thank you right now, man. And again, said, man, we just appreciate your time, brother. And man, we hope to have you back, man. So anytime you want to jump in, jump on, man, feel free to just, you know, come on in here and do what you do, man.
For sure. Appreciate it.
Yes, sir. All right. Alabama Cash, man, you want to close us out, man, with a prayer, man, or invitation? Anybody that may not be saved or anything?
Man, we just, you know, the thing is, man, I just thank God for this moment and opportunity. Tonight, I think we just, because something greater was awakened today. A lot of purpose and a lot of things, a lot of inspiration were awakened.
Yep.
Not just, and I know with them, whatever. So we just gonna close out with a prayer, man.
Okay. Sounds good to me.
Father God, we just thank you for this night, God. We thank you for Cedrick, God. We thank you for his inspiration, God. We thank you for his story. God, we are learning in obedience to thank you for the struggle, God, because so often that's what makes so many of us. Now, God, we just thank you, God, for the ones that may have tended, God, lives that are shifting and that are changed, God. We pray, God, that you just continue to be with us the duration of this week, God, that you would just continue, God, to be our strength, God. And God, just continue to allow our focus and our guidance to be upon your spirit, God. Now, God, as we close out this Zoom, God, this broadcast, God, we just pray that somebody was touched, somebody was moved, God. And if there was a life, God, that is inquiring, what must I do to be saved, God? Allow them the avenue, God, to reach out to me, DeMarcus, Tone, or whoever else. I see Tony was on here, God, just whomever, God, that can lead them to you, God, because it's not about us, God. It's all glory for you. Then, God, we just pray, God, that you just continue to keep us and cover us. Your son, in Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Man, and Lord, we just ask that you just bless bless Cedrick, man, and just bless the work of his hand and enlarge his territory, Lord God, and his passion for mentoring, Lord God, and just that pureness, Lord God, that purpose and that just open that lane up for him, Lord God, to be able to do more of that in Jesus' name. Amen. All right, people, man. I appreciate y'all taking time out, man, and y'all have a good night, man. And I'm gonna get this thing uploaded on YouTube so you can always go back and watch it, man. So again, man, thank you, everybody. Holla at y'all next.